Look both ways when you cross that street. Dot your I's and cross your T's. Measure twice, but cut once. Love life, live it up, bruh. Dream is good, do the work too. There ain't nothing you can't work through, and there ain't nothing I can't handle. There ain't nothing I can't handle. I look to the sky, and I thank God that I'm alive. I look to my wife, and I thank God she by my side. I've been through a lot, but I survived. It weighs on my heart from time to time, but there ain't nothing I can't handle.
Peace, big love, big blessings, even bigger living, everything that comes with it and everything in between. You are tuned into Thinking Out Loud with Samuel David. It's just a conversation. And Thinking Out Loud is a place of reflection, empathy, accountability, recognizing where we are as we move towards where we're going, and sharing the world of those that are around us as we make our world that much better. But enough of all that. I got a special guest today, y'all. I got a super special guest. I've known him for, I guess I could say half my life. I've known you since high school. Yeah. Right? Yes. He is an event host, a supreme content creator, an actor, and most famously, he is one of the best food critics that I've met in my life. Today I got Chris Jackson, Mr. Jack Stax Eats. What's up, family?
Man, doing well. How are you doing?
I woke up alive.
Hey, same.
That's my motto. That's my motto. So, Chris, I don't know if you know, I start every episode with the same question because it really determines where we're going to go. I always share. I do my research. I know my people, but I find strength in conversation. So, how is your spirit?
Man, my spirit is in a great spot.
Word.
My spirit is in a spot of just giving, gratefulness, and just hunger at the same time.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Yeah, it's just it's almost like just being a kid again, and you just got your dreams, and it's just like go get it. Ooh. So I'm just in that space where it's like I'm not worried about the little stuff or that and this. I just want to see people happy, and I just want to strive, and so I'm in a good spot. I'm pretty happy where I'm at.
I love that. You said something in there. You said a lot in there. I love what you mentioned as far as you're giving, but you're also you're open to receiving. It sounds like.
Yes.
You mentioned feeling like a kid.
Yeah.
I've read and I've heard and I've experienced that when you're able to tap into like that kid-like thing as an adult, it makes life so great.
Yes.
What's got you there?
Man, a lot of help. So it started with my best friend, Win Crabtree.
For sure.
DJ for the Win. Big shout out to him. But we just have these conversations all the time. And so he's just kind of in that mental space where I can kind of lean to and have conversations about what's next and how to move and bring my problems to him, and then we can just kind of talk it out. Because I'm very big on not letting something go on too long.
For sure.
Janae said it best where it kind of hit like a rock, where she was like, Chris is just like, get over it. I move on to the next thing quickly.
What's your sign?
Cancer.
Ha, got you. Okay.
Yeah, so like if something's going on, I'm like, or something bad happens to you, it's like, well, what you gonna do about it? Let's keep going. But just having those conversations with him, I actually seen a therapist for the first time, did a little hypnotherapy. And then just kind of just sitting down and just watching these podcasts and listening to other people and watching your podcast actually recently lately, and just like it gave me confirmation that I'm headed the right direction, and that and that's kind of like a lot of the time I feel like that's all you need. It's just sometimes you're just out here figuring it out, your head's down, you're grinding, but you want to make sure you're headed in the right direction. And so being able to just hear other people's stories is like, okay, I'm headed where I should be going.
For sure,
and so that's how I feel right now. And so I'm just all the little petty stuff and little things like that. I'm just in a spot where it's like a lot of that, it doesn't even matter. Adrian Harden actually made a post today. I just shared it, and it was it was a post about Wichita and small mindset and stop blaming other people. And if you want the success, go get it. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
So that just ties into where I'm at as far as my spirit is. So
I love that.
That's why I'm like, all these things just keep popping up. It's just like, God telling me like, you're on the right path. Just keep going.
and cut. We don't even got to talk. You just fed me. You got me filled up, man. No, there's so much power. There's power, I think, in brothers being able to have conversations with each other and lift each other up, right? And having a friend that's like a brother that can keep you on point and keep you accountable and pour into you. So that's major. Shout out to Win. Got to get Win and Deidre Harden on the show. But I digress. And just that affirmation, bro.
Yeah.
Affirmation is key.
Affirmation is key.
It's
man.
key. Because you could run around like a chicken with his head cut off. You can have the plan, but then it's like, am I doing it right? Am I on point? But then as soon as something reminds you or affirms you, it helps that forward
Because at the end of the
motion.
day, you are your own person, and you're on your own journey. And so it's hard to look over when somebody's doing something different and know you're where you're supposed to be going.
Yeah.
And so just having just a little affirmations and talking to God a lot, and you just realize that, I mean, that's part of the journey. Everybody goes through their own little journey, but we all tie into, we all tie into where we're trying to go.
For sure. This human experience is indeed equal opportunity.
Yeah,
For sure.
100%.
For sure. So you talk about the journey though, bro. Like, and I was trying to find the post as I was doing some of my research, but I know you mentioned when you took that leap of faith.
Oh, yeah.
And started your journey as a full-time entrepreneur, full-time content creator, full-time, can I say food critic, foodie? Which one do you prefer?
I just say foodie.
Okay, foodie.
I'm just sharing my food experiences and taking you on the journey with me. At the same time, I'm shining light on these businesses so that you know to go check them out too.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you're what? Keep me honest, 3 years into your journey now?
2.5.
2.5. I'm jumping
2.5.
forward. Let me slow
Yeah,
down
yeah,
because
2.5.
time don't wait. Let me slow down. What led you to taking that leap of faith? What gave you that confidence to take that leap of faith to say, I'm locked in. I trust my gifts. I trust my purpose enough to take this leap.
Yeah, I think it just ties into growing up, college, and you got basketball going on, but it's like, what am I gonna do outside of basketball? You know, that question of what do you want to be when you grow up, right? So that stuck with me for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to be a hooper.
Word.
That was it, but it clicked, it changed when I had my first daughter. Cause now
mine, they do something to you, don't they?
Man, it was like I have to provide for this thing. So I went from hooping cold turkey, quitting basketball, and finding a way to take care of my daughter.
Wow.
Cold turkey. And so when you do that, there's no thought process into it. There's no preparing. I was in college.
Yeah.
And went straight to I need to take care of my daughter.
For sure.
Because I wanted her childhood to be better than what mine was.
Ain't that what we always want?
Yes.
Man, listen, I've got a similar journey. I was sharing with my kids the other day. I went to school for a semester. And I went to college post high school, so not right after, but a little bit after, and I wanted to be a profiler. And I was in the class, and they were like, yeah, you need your doctorates plus more. And I was like, I need money now for my daughter.
Yeah, right, I need it now.
So yes, I know that feeling, man. If I can ask, how old are your kids?
My oldest is 14, just turned 14. Then I got a 7-year-old and a 6-year-old.
I love that. All girls.
All girls.
So you are a girl dad to the max.
Yes.
So let me ask this: what you shared as far as the thought of I gotta provide for my daughter, but being a girl dad, what has changed or impacted you the most as a girl dad?
Honestly, what's impacted me the most is that, like I talked about earlier, where I'm so get over it and get to the next thing.
Okay.
And that was my whole life.
Yeah.
And then you got girls, and it's not that simple. It is not that simple.
Yeah.
It's just not. So patience.
For
Lots of patience and just more understanding of living that moment for a moment so that we can grow from it.
Yeah.
Versus pushing it to the side and moving on.
For sure.
So daughters definitely just patience, living in that moment with them, understanding, and then working so that we all can move on from it.
For sure. Ooh, and man, I gotta reiterate, that is not easy when you got girls.
No.
Sometimes I have conversations with my daughter and she's like, Dad, you never see my side of things. I'm super empathetic and I like perspective and perception. So she teaches me so much about myself daily.
Yeah.
And there's so much power in that. So you find the same thing with your girls, like they teaching you yourself
1,000%.
without them even knowing.
Yeah, they're always making me reflect. Like, man, how am I? What am I doing this wrong? Like, what?
Bruh, it's real.
How do I need to go about this?
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. So basketball, your basketball career, did you ever have that thought of like, yo, I'm going to the league? Like, was that ever a thought for you?
My whole thought process was I always look at everything from a realistic perspective.
Okay.
And so I knew I was good enough to play overseas.
Word.
Like I knew that's what I should go do. I had multiple friends go do it, and I'm like, well, shoot, if they can do it, I know I can.
Definitely.
So it was like, I know I can go overseas, and I know I can make a career out of it. Because I knew that I just need to get stronger, and I could do some, because I mean, for me, basketball, if you can score the ball,
Yeah.
and and then you can prove in the other areas, you're going to be just fine. So I always thought like I was going to make money doing this and be just fine.
You miss it.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, luckily, what has it been? 15 years that's passed. 15, 14 years that's passed. So it took a while to get over it, but it used to be in the back of my mind heavy. But yeah, I'm finally
like, okay, I'm on a different path.
Yeah.
Your daughter hoops though.
My daughter hoops.
Do you coach?
I don't. I tried coaching.
Okay.
And what happened was
okay.
I went into it with the wrong mindset. And so I had to stop because I feel like I wasn't benefiting the program. I wasn't benefiting the kids because, you know, I went in with the mentality that I got coached. And that was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like quit back talking, work harder. And luckily, I figured I know now how I can approach it, but I was so stuck in like this is how it needs to get done because you know, like again, just focusing on me and how I learned or what I think how you should learn is just it's not the way.
It's not the way these days.
It's not the way.
We came up in the city league in Wichita where like your Coach Allen's, your Coach Taylor's, like they were like.
Yeah.
They were stern.
And then you have competition in front of you that's like, and we fought for those spots.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about this other day where I'm like, Avery was talking about the difference in today's generation is we were outside, right? For one, we were at the open runs. We're trying to go to the gym, get shots up.
Yeah.
Well, so was our generation before us. And so you had to earn your spot to get on those courts.
Facts.
They weren't just letting you pick your squad. No, you had to like earn a spot, get on. So it ties into just work. We just worked hard because it's what we wanted to do.
Word.
And so we learned in that process. And then when you get a coach to help come in and coach that, like I feel like it was easier for coaches.
Yeah.
Back then, you know, because it was like you had a lot of kids that wanted it.
Outside hooping, like they nonstop.
Yeah, especially like me being at Southeast, we had so much talent before us, and just the bully ball and the mess talking that we had to go through. Like it only made us stronger, but the thing about our class, we just never backed down.
Facts.
We was like, well, I'm gonna bring it every time. I'm gonna give you a couple elbows. We gonna like, you can talk all you want, but I'm not going nowhere.
I'm not going nowhere.
So
I came to win.
Yeah, I came to win, and that's all I know.
Straight up.
And so you can't coach kids today like
it's
that.
It's a little different. It's fun. So I assistant coach my son's basketball team, and all the kids are definitely in greater positions than a lot of their parents were back in the day, right? And so they're privileged. They live what some would say luxury.
Yeah.
Right. And the biggest challenge I find is like trying to get that dog out of them.
Yeah.
When they're not being raised to be dogs.
Yep.
Right. And man, it's real. It's real. So I'm tracking with you.
Yeah.
Chris, we're gonna jump all over the place. Just a heads up, because we just thinking
I
out
know
loud.
we jump and to go back as far as why I even got in the confidence to be a foodie.
Yeah.
So after I quit, and then I was working, and then when I came down to it, I started streaming. I started gaming.
Okay, I did see that. Yeah.
So I started gaming, so I was already used to being behind the camera. Did that for like 2 or 3 years. I actually had a really good following growing. But then I had back surgery, backtracked, and then I was at that point where I was like, I don't want to be just in front of a computer.
Okay.
I don't want to have to come home and just be stuck here.
Yeah.
And that was before like understanding, because after the surgery, I tried to migrate out of it. I tried to do some like IRL streams and You know, it was trying to figure it out, but then somebody was just like, hey, why don't you be like a content creator? Be a foodie, because people used to ask me where to go eat.
Yeah.
And I was very passionate about, you should go here, there, check this place out. And so, of course, I just started doing because it was content, and that's what I was passionate about.
Yeah.
And so I was like, let me do some research, sat on it for about a month, and I was like, oh, I can do this.
Word.
So it was just like starting over my gaming career, where it's just trial and error. You'll build as you go. And so I just started turning the camera on, recording, put it together, and just, like I said, just years pass and you just get better and better at it.
Cracking from there.
That's it.
You know, I love talking to athletes because it's a different mindset in the way that athletes approach things. As you approach as a foodie, first question I want to ask, like, do you remember the first restaurant that you reviewed?
I think it was Miya Izakiya, a little wing spot behind Walmart.
Okay.
Very good.
Word.
Really good. It's one of some of the best. It's Korean fried chicken.
Oh, fire.
So it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I remember it was us and I think Avery's family, Avery Richardson. And I remember just pulling the camera out, just getting people taking bites and just, you know, somebody recording me. And it was a voiceover and yeah.
The whole shebang. Because it's a lot that goes into creating those joints.
Yeah.
So,
it used to take me 3 to 5 hours to edit each video.
What you down to now?
I'm less than 2.
Word.
Yeah.
And that's just from the practice, putting the work in. And I'm sure you got a flow at this point.
Yeah,
like,
definitely. Yeah. You know what you're capturing. You try to capture it in order just to make everything smoother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love questions like that because it can be applied to so much. Right, not just the food experience, right? Like if whatever you create and whatever you're doing, like having a workflow, having a process, like having a plan as you go into it.
Yes.
So it's not just I'm just shooting in blanks with the hope that
Right.
it comes out fire.
Yeah.
Speaking of fire, and I don't know if you can say this on camera because I know you go to a lot of different spots.
Right.
Do you have a current favorite?
I do have favorites.
Okay.
I have a couple of favorites that off the top of my head. There's a lot of spots that are top notch, really, really good. But as far as like favorites, I think of like what hits home for me, what's comforting for me that I know is going to be good every time. I gotta go with Nelson's Kitchen.
Shout out to Nelson's Kitchen.
Yeah, their wings got my heart. And I know it's gonna be good every time. I think I catered one year for for the Super Bowl. I just bought a bunch of wings.
Yeah.
And then I also like if I want a good burger, Sport Burger.
Okay.
Just a very good burger every time I go. Very comforting. But as far as just my favorites, I would say those two are my favorites.
Okay, that's fair. And they both homegrown.
Yeah.
That's fire. I asked my daughter before we started, I was like, yo, what's a question I should ask Jack Stax? And the thing she said, and I'm like, yo, that's a real thing, especially with food critics, is every review 100% honest?
Yeah. So if I can go back, there's one review where I was like, I wanted it to be good.
Okay.
And I wanted to not talk bad about this place. I posted it, and people was like, you ain't gotta lie to us. We see it on your face.
Yeah.
And I felt so embarrassed. I was like, man, I put this on the internet. I knew I was lying.
Yeah.
But then you turn really embarrassed when people see that you're lying.
Word.
And so I was like, never again.
Yeah.
I was like, the way for me to go about this thing is I gotta just be honest. I think that's around the time where I started putting a number behind it, a review, the score behind it. So it's like, man, I'm just be honest. Like that's just my style. It's just like I'm very big. Like I said, that's why I got started. Some people tell me like you should do it because I would tell them like I wouldn't get this because of this, but get this because it's really good.
Yeah.
So I just went back to the roots and was like, man, let me just be who I am and do it this way.
It's gonna crack off.
Yeah.
Man, no, that's fire. And again, I find messages in everything. I find a word in everything. But like it sounded like you was in a space where it's like, yeah, I can't not be me.
Yeah.
I can't not be on point and on purpose because the streets is talking.
100%.
I love that.
And I'm as grateful as in the very beginning. Because, that could have blown up and been really bad, especially where I'm at now. You lose credibility.
Yeah.
You lose all this stuff. But I sent each one of them a personal message, like, you right.
Word.
That won't happen again.
Yeah.
And then I was, like I said, I just been always from there. A lot of people think I'm just gassing. That's a big thing. They think I'm just gassing or doing this. You got to understand, like, my scoring system and the way I do it is nothing's perfect.
Okay. But
at the same token, it's like, is it edible?
Okay.
Like, if I made this and it turned out this way, is it really that bad?
Yeah.
If they just need to make a couple of tweaks, is it really that bad? And it's just not. Like, it's all edible. It's all like there's some stuff on my channel where it's like, yeah, no, like I'm not messing with that at all. But for the most part, it's just a couple flavors, and so that's why everything is, you'll see, mostly rated from a 6 to a 9.
Okay.
It's because it's like A, B, C, D, right? Scoring, grading. And C's, is your fast foods. It's decent. I could grab it for a quick bite and not bat an eye if I was running to a meeting. And then D's and F's, like 6s and below, is where I wouldn't order that ever again. So I'm very generous as far as people would think is everything's like 7s, but that's why I kind of stick with the sizzle bizzles, because like if it's 8s and above, that's where like this is something that's worth trying. Like I really like this, and I do my average on scores. If it's 8 and above on average, then it's like, man, it's a good spot.
Okay, noted. Because I'm on a fast right now. Like me and my wife doing the 75 soft, so I'm juicing right now and then eating on point after the 3 days of juicing. But once I'm back in the game, because if I look at your page right now, I'm pulling up on the cheat day. It's gonna be a bad news. But something I love to think about, and I think it goes into everything, right? I think we have such a dynamic city where everybody's connected in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
The world, everybody is connected. There's many different foodies, right, and different review channels, but you're one of the few who, like, your face is out there. Yeah. Like, you've branded it that way. Sizzle, bizzle, amen, let's dig in. Like, people know you. Yeah. When you walk into the restaurant, like, is there like a level of specialty treatment that you find yourself receiving?
I mean, it happens. People just know who I am now.
Yeah.
I do try to call a lot of my orders in, especially if I'm doing a review.
Okay.
Like, I'll just sit outside the restaurant and call it in. Sometimes I have to go in and order, but there is a certain level of that. I can't deny it. But that's why I try to order ahead of time.
That makes sense.
I can avoid like the special treatment, and especially when I'm just trying to rate it. Now, people don't know this, but I do different types of reviews.
Okay, talk to me.
So people are like, I had to stop doing this back and forth and letting everybody in and telling them all my thoughts, because I mean, it's not going to resonate with them.
Yeah.
And it's almost like they have to pick a side now.
Between what
like,
you
do I
reviewed
agree with him or am I against him? Because I'm over here talking about like just my process and like if the special treatment happens, what I expect, and it's just like I can't let all that information out, but because I do my car reviews, right? I pay for all that, and I do all this. People think I just go around getting free food all the time. That's why I stop. People arguing with me like, oh, he expects this and all. I'm like, so I'm done sharing like those thoughts on the internet. Like I've gotten to that point where it really, like I got a whole hate group out there.
Hold on, back. You got a hate group.
Like people really don't like me. Like people are making these false accusations about just different things. I don't want to get into details because, like I said, it's gotten out of control, and it's just like that's fine.
Yeah.
I just gotta be careful with how I move. I can't blame them. So.
I know you said you want to talk about it, but I'm thinking out loud without you having to say. Like, I can imagine if these are like relatives of local restaurant employees, or like that's kind of.
It's got to be a mix, but it just comes with anything. Like the more you're gonna have people that are gonna be against you or hate you for no reason, and I'm learning that. So it's like I really have to be selective with my words and my thoughts, just because it could come off a certain way.
Yeah.
When they don't even know you. So they're just picking up and making their assumptions and then running with it.
Yeah.
Like somebody made a lie up on somewhere and it was it's complete bogus, but then you got all these people liking it and
They follow with
just
it.
following that. I'm just like, whoa. So I'm at a point where I just can't give them that ammo anymore. And if you know me, you know me.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, it's ill because, so, you know, I rap still, but when I was a rapper, I was different.
Yeah.
Like, I rubbed a lot of folks the wrong way, and I didn't give a shit. With love, right?
Yeah.
But as a family man, in the image that people see me at, in the perception people see, sometimes they think they can, like, try you.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, fam, respectfully, I just work here.
Yeah.
You feel me?
I feel that.
Yeah, so thinking of that, and again, I just be all over the place sometimes. So your brother is a hip hop artist.
Yeah.
Right? Personality-wise, y'all are completely different.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
It just comes from, you are who you are.
Word.
That's all it is. I mean, we grew up in the same house. I mean, we're brothers. But at the end of the day, you're always going to be who you are.
100%.
You know,
100%.
you're going to let people influence who influenced you as far as like that parent figure or adult or who you want to be like or whatever it may be. But it's just one of those things where you just are who you are. And
100%.
I was always the adventure type and explorer type and, and then, like I said, he was just a little different.
Yeah, and I rock with your brother heavy. Like, as I talk about the world being so connected, I preached my nephew's wedding, and him and his friends was in there. I'm like, oh, y'all peoples with my peoples. Like, we all peoples. So
Right.
that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep bouncing.
Nah,
Chris.
yeah, you good.
So you not only eat good food here in Wichita, you hit the streets, too. You traveling. I see you on the road. Mm-hmm. Who has I won't ask city-wise, but like region-wise, East Coast, West Coast, down South, Midwest, who's got the best food?
The only thing I gotta say is I have not ventured south. And I feel like I have to venture south before I can answer that question.
That's fair.
The best food I've had so far, I would say like Midwest.
Okay.
Because I just went on a Chicago tour. And the food is crazy.
Chicago's different.
Everywhere.
Did you get Harold's chicken?
I got Harold's chicken. Oh. Yes.
Mild sauce is crazy. My wife's from Chicago.
Mild sauce is crazy.
Ooh. You know, the only place that I've recognized that rivals Chicago's food, or Chicago's street food, is New York.
Yes. New York is amazing.
Bruh.
Amazing.
Different.
Yeah, I went out there 3 different times.
Yeah.
We ate good. So it's just, as far as like me personally, I like the comforting side that Chicago offers.
Okay.
Chicago, you got your spots, but as you know, it's just that it's a different life where, I mean, you got your pizza spots, everything's spread out. You got all types of cuisine. But I just feel like comfort-wise, you get more comfort in Chicago.
Yeah, New York is fast. New York food feels like the people.
Yes, yes.
As pasted. Yes. Okay, I won't spend too much more on the food, but I gotta ask two more questions. I gotta ask. Mm-hmm. As a foodie, as you out trying different restaurants and stuff, do you cook at home?
Oh yeah, I love to cook.
You a chef? Like you recreating what you eat?
Oh yeah,
okay.
I don't get into too much detail because I'm just so busy with the food reviews. I was just talking to my uncle that I didn't even get to, because I get on the grill, I smoke, barbecue, I get in the kitchen. I didn't get to do that as much this year because I've been so busy.
Yeah.
And lots of leftovers at the house. We are a leftover household.
That's real.
But I love to do it.
Okay.
Like, if I'm in the mood and I know we're not going nowhere, I'm like, shoot, let's do this. Like, she wanted to throw some chili on. I'm like, I want to help make the chili. Let's try to make it really good. But I don't want to, like, we're not throwing it on at 5 and it's time to eat at 6. Like, we're going to do it right.
Gotta do it right.
I love to get in the kitchen. I love to, just growing up, I mean, it comes from not having that and trying to make something out of nothing.
Ooh, speak on it.
You know,
Speak on it, bro.
You in there making the peanut butter jelly saltine crackers. You you got spaghetti for days, so you're trying to do different seasonings and
Man.
make it taste different.
The ramen noodles with the
the
hot links and the hot dogs and stuff. Come on, man, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
throw the egg in there. Yeah.
Everything got a resourcefulness.
So we love creating. I know all of us do actually. All my brothers, we all like to cook.
I love that. I love that. I'm the go-to cook at my crib.
Okay.
Like it's serious. And I always say like, without being like mad stereotypical, sometimes I feel like men cook out of like, I don't know. It's a different vibe a lot of times. But like I know if my wife cook, it's a chore.
Yeah, we want it to be an experience. We want it to be good. We're putting this in. Because I'm speaking because my wife is the same way, where she's just like, she wants to just get it done and then we got food.
On to the next, because I'm busy.
Yeah.
I got stuff to do. If I'm in the kitchen, I might take about an hour or two to make spaghetti.
Yeah, exactly. Because, man, I'm telling you, I got that heat on low. I'm mashing it up, make sure it gets right. Oh, yeah.
But then it's a gift and a curse, because then I'm expected to cook all the time because it's on point.
1,000%. She always want me to cook.
Yes. So, former athlete, and now you a foodie. And I look at like Guy Fieri when I was watching like Diners, Drive-Ins, and Drives, and Guy's a little heavier set. Then I look at Keith Lee, former UFC fighter, eating all the time, but he's lean and fit.
Yeah.
How do you keep yourself fit, eating so much food on the daily?
The last few months have been rough.
Okay, shout out to Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's.
Yeah. You especially just run around, busy all the time, but I finally refocused that energy. Because if you want to go to the gym, you're going to go to the gym. It's just whenever you want to go. But I've always been fit. You know, it's genes, part of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, just playing ball and then missing it all those years, like I was staying in shape. I did a big diet every year where I got just fit and in shape and was hooping. And I did it like once a year, every year. So this is like the first year I really didn't get to do it. Actually, I don't think I got to do it last year either. But I was in the gym.
Okay.
And so it's just balance. One is fasting. Like I don't eat in the mornings.
Okay.
And I try to stop eating after 9.
So a lot of discipline in it.
Yeah, a lot of discipline because I know I'm going to eat good tomorrow. So you got to have some balance there. But I think you got to find a little gym time. You got to find this a little me time where you're drinking your water, you're eating your fruit. Off camera, you're not eating a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
You're trying to, just stay disciplined in what you're doing.
That's real.
I got to get back on it. These last few months is kind of taking me down, but I'm back on it already. So
I love that.
We're on our way.
I love that. So 2.5 years into your foodie journey, what has been the biggest learning lesson for you?
The biggest lesson is don't do too much.
Elaborate.
So for me, like I started out, like I started to grow, but then I'm always like, I want to do more.
Okay.
And so I'm learning now, like, you got to keep doing what you've been doing, what you love to do. You can do more, but you just come up with a game plan. Because I'm very big, I'm scatterbrained. Like, I'm going to just start doing this.
Okay.
I'm going to start doing this. I'm like, okay, I got a good following. Let me try this. And there's nothing wrong with that per se, but I feel like my wife tells me all the time, like, what are you talking about? You're doing just fine. But I just feel like I need to keep my base, keep doing what I'm doing, and just make that stronger.
Yeah.
And then sprinkle in the other things and have a plan to really grow and branch off and do that versus just like leaves, just kind of just trying this, trying that, which is, it's good to have the trial and error, but I've been doing that with my main thing, and that's just switching up the content style or making it a little bit better or changing the edits on this. And so I just need to keep that solid foundation and then find what branches I want to branch out to.
That makes sense. That makes sense. You got a lot of game and gems on your timeline, right? So to hear you talk about them out loud, I love it because when I sit in this chair, I love to learn from folks, right? And it's affirming for me, like, okay, I'm on point, or it's a reminder, like, ooh, lock back in some way, shape, or form,
Right.
But you had a post where you mentioned, and I'm gonna butcher it, but you was pretty much saying like, yo, when you create the content you would love.
Yeah.
Don't go chasing like, yo, what do people want? Like, what got you to that acknowledgement?
Well, so many people started reaching out as far as I want to get started. I want to do this. I want to do what you do. Or people reaching out saying, it felt like they wanted to do what I'm doing because they want free food.
Word. Yeah.
You know, so you're going to put this persona on and do it because you see mine, you're going to try to mimic it, and then it's just like, what's the end goal here? Like, to me, that's not sustainable.
Word.
So it's like, if you're going to do this and put your time into it, find out what's really about you, and then grow from there.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like the foodie game, it seems so big in Wichita because the core group of guys that are doing it, they're doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like, from what I've learned, like that's what they do. And so you got other people that see that and see that other people like food, and so they want to jump on that train. When it's like, bro, you have a great profession. You should really tap into that a little. Because if you want to make content, right? They're not jumping because they want to make content.
Yeah.
And it's like, just master your craft and make your content, because not everybody can be a foodie.
Word.
You know, it's not in you. So it's going to come off that way. I mean, we all love to eat.
For sure.
But if you're going to make the content, I just felt like you should do it in your profession, what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Right? What you've been doing all your life. You turned your hobby into your job.
Yeah.
You can make dope content, and the best content is original content. So if you can find a way to make that grow to where people are catching on and you can get consistent with it, I just feel like if you tap into that, like, you'll be in your own lane.
Facts.
And that's the thing about Wichita, is like, that's why I was like, I remember when I first started this, I was like, seriously, I was like, I told my boys, every win, all of them, I was like, I'm going to be Wichita famous.
Word.
Because I was passionate about like making the content, but I was like, nobody's doing it this way.
Facts.
And now it was a year and a half, 2 years later, and it was starting to come to fruition. And it just feels like I'm just putting that onto other people. Like, if you figure out what you want to do and find a way to do it, like, create your own lane, that's better than jumping on and getting a few likes and stuff like that. For this, it's like, man, if you really want to do this, just tap into who you are. Tap into, I tell people all the time, like, find some dope content that you love and that you feel like you can do. That's tied to what you do already, and then grow it and make it your own.
Facts.
And then, because that's when the trial and error come. Once you start doing it, you be like, oh, I'd rather do it this way.
Yeah.
Well, start doing it that way, and just look. But at the same token, you're seeing what already works, but then you're bringing it back home.
Word. Ooh, see, now we getting deep. This is where I like to swim. This is one of my favorite places to go. We like to swim. We get the fun stuff out the way. But no, man, that makes me think about the 3 P's that I always recite, right? Purpose, passion, and profit.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you choose your passion, right? Your purpose is given to you. Like, you have no say-so on what your purpose is. It's like, wherever you're at, it shows up with you.
Yeah.
Right? And what you're doing. And then the profit, of course, we all want to get paid, bring it in. When those 3 align, it's on point. But too often I do see people whose passions are like so far away from their purpose, it's like they're chasing a thing that does not want to let them catch it.
Yeah.
Right? And so I love hearing that, because that's real, right? If folks focused on like, yo, I love customizing shoes.
Right.
Don't worry about being a foodie. Like, yo, go content create customizing shoes.
Yeah.
Show us your process. Show us your thing. So that's real. Man, you've mentioned Win a few times. You've mentioned Avery a few times, right? And I also want to throw DJ Barefoot in there, because I've seen you guys doing a lot of collaborations and working, man. And talk a little bit about how you recognize the power of collaboration and what that's done for your journey.
So that just ties into like my purpose, and I'm big on putting on for others. I'm big on, like I said, somebody came up to me and was like, you should do this because I see it in you.
Yeah.
And so, like, I just love giving back and giving that feedback and helping other people. Like I said, I tell people all the time, like, I really do it because I want to put on for other businesses. Like, I want you to feel so excited about that video. Like, I need to go there.
Word.
And try that place. You're not coming, like, I haven't even focused on, like, my brand and merch and other things that I could try to do with my name, because it's a part of me. It's part of, like I said, the profit, but at the same token, like, my purpose is really just giving back and connecting with other people. And so it's just been big for me. So, like, just spending time with Avery, Wynn, doing the thing with Barefoot.
Yeah.
Like, Barefoot, we got started with the tour because it was just like, you know what, let's do that. Like, he came to me with the idea of doing, like, the West Street tour. And I was like, man, I would love to do that with you.
Yeah.
Let's do that together. Because I feel like when you come together, like, there's just so many benefits. Like, I just dive into that, like, from my experience. So working with him, like, I didn't have to edit.
Okay.
I didn't have to film. I just show up, I give game. We talk about different things. We bounce ideas off of each other.
Yeah.
And so you're just not only are you helping that person, but you're learning too, because you're learning to work with other people. You're learning to like what are his strengths and how can we bring that out on camera and just take it to another level. Because like at the end goal, like I would love to do more production type work.
For sure.
And get behind the camera and like, hey, we can improve it if we do this. And so it's just it's a win-win.
Yeah.
You know, when he's learning, he's coming up in the food game and he's trying to grow his following and do something cool for the city. And then I'm over here trying to do more editing work and producer type work. And but at the same token, we just come together and we're both benefiting and we're both doing something for the city. And it's just, the collaboration is big.
Yeah.
Like I try to share people's posts. I try to like chime in. I try to comment.
Yeah.
Because I just want other people to know, like, I am rooting for you. Like, I know who I am. I'm confident with who I am. I'm gonna keep working for what I want. But I want to keep instilling you, like, I've been there where nobody's watching your things and nobody's liking your posts or nobody's commenting. And so I just want to just help other people because I just know that it instills a lot and we benefit a lot from each other. Like, you never know when you can lean on somebody or opportunity comes up and they're talking behind closed doors and your name's brought up. And just putting you in positions, because that's happened so many times for me where I've gotten phone calls and amazing opportunities that happen. So I'm grateful for the journey. I know who I am, and I just feel like collaborating just adds to that. And at the same time, like, I just love showing love.
Word.
Like,
Word.
I really do.
People
People who don't know me make this perception and all these other things. And it's just like, man, that's just who I am.
Off top.
Like, I don't like talking about people. I don't like talking behind closed doors. I don't like all that gossiping. And I just like, man, I always, like I said, I just look at it from a godly perspective where, like, that WWJD's, like, it lives in me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to be out here talking bad about somebody or making fun of somebody else's misfortunes or hoping that they don't do well.
Right.
Like, Barefoot or Plate Envy could have easily approached me and I could have been like, nah. Would it have as much reach as it did without me? I don't know. I could have said no, but I'm like, why would I say no to something just because I don't want him to succeed?
Ooh, that's a word. That's a word. So, I love it. So let me ask this, right? Because I think there's power, privilege, and sometimes responsibility, right? When you are one of the leaders in your space, right? And I'd be remiss to not acknowledge I've seen a lot of different food pages pop up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I'm like, they're doing food reviews now, aren't they? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen it.
And love to them. right?
Yes.
Of course, definitely want to see them win, succeed, get their bellies full, do all the things that they hope to accomplish in that space, right? But when you see that, do you feel a responsibility to give the game out or to kind of look out for them in a space?
I feel like that's where, like I said, I'm commenting, I'm liking your post. If you reach out to me, yeah, I'll give you all the game you want. At the same time, you can't spread your energy too thin. But at the same token, as long as they know, like I acknowledged, I make it a purpose to acknowledge them.
Yeah.
And I love to see it because it's like, one, like people are inspired to do this. But two, it's just like everybody can be a foodie and you don't know the real reason behind it, why they started.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of unknown. There's a lot of assumptions made when you see these things popped up that can be made, and I try to just subtract that from my mind.
That's
and
fair.
just show support. At the end of the day, I don't think about it too much. I remember I used to catch myself sometimes.
Okay.
I definitely have caught myself sometimes thinking about it too much. But like I said, it's just my personality. Like the next day, like I'm just like, okay.
On to the next. It's over with.
Yeah, Win will tell you all the time. I'm just like, man. He'd be like, you better than me. I'd be like, man, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because I gotta focus on what I'm trying to grow.
Yeah.
And like I wish the best for them. And so I try to, like I said, as far as responsibility goes, I just try to be there. Like we got a group, I try to message, I try to make sure I jump on there every once in a while. And like, hey, y'all wanna go eat somewhere? Y'all wanna go do something? So I feel like there is a little responsibility just because I've been doing it for longer than some people.
And mass successful at it.
Yeah, I mean, I got some good numbers, I got some good following.
Yeah.
And so as much as I can put the game off, I will. But again, it comes back to like, I can't, it has to come from them because you can come off a certain way.
Oh, I've seen it. I've been the guy that's come off a certain way. And I'm like, bro, say less.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, say less. Okay, that's fair.
Just y'all know that I got your back. I'm here for you. If you want to reach out, reach out.
All of that. Okay, so we talked about the power of collaboration in this city of ours where everything is connected, right? Like when you think to what you would like to see, like, and I guess almost like food-wise, restaurant-wise, and recognizing like it's not just the food that you're impacting, right? You're definitely doing events and things like that.
Yes.
What are some things as you're in your space from your lens that you think could help elevate the culture of Wichita, Kansas?
Man, that's tough because I was thinking about that the other day where I'm just a foodie.
Word.
I just love to eat. But if you take it to another level, like I've got an understanding for content creation. I've got an understanding for what people adapt to. I'm learning that I can bring a certain energy to the room. And so that's where I try to maximize my gifts and try to put it in different spaces like the hosting and I try to involve myself in conversations of what's to come, like new things coming up, and really and I try to put myself out there in the city to see where can I help.
I like that.
Where can I help? Like obviously, I feel like we all know ourselves are the best, and I just feel like I know I can help in some spaces. But it's just you got to match with the right people to be able to do that.
Facts.
Because there's so many more events. Like I feel like we could have a food hall in Wichita.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so many things that can work. I have a million ideas, but I just feel like that's where I'm just waiting for the right opportunity and putting myself out there and going to these different events and different meetings, just so I can be a part of the conversation.
For sure.
Because a lot of times I just want to be a part of the conversation and bring my ideas, which is hard for me because, at the end of the day, I am kind of like soft-spoken where I don't speak up too much.
Word.
Because I know I can come off a certain way. Because it's just who I am. Like,
okay.
When I speak and move a certain way, like, it just comes off just with my delivery.
That's feedback you've gotten before, or critique, I guess you've gotten before.
Yeah, it's just a critique, and so I'm learning to speak up when the time's right.
Okay. Somebody said you was an asshole one time or something.
Oh, I mean, people think that all the time, or people think I'm weird, or people think a lot of things, but it's just because this is my personality. Like, people just think I'm all over the place, or I'm too energetic, or I'm faking it, or all this stuff, and it's just like, so I learned how to still be myself, but there's just certain things that don't need to be said in certain situations.
That's fair.
So
That's
I'm
fair.
learning to like put myself in position to where I have the opportunity to speak up and have those one-on-one conversations versus just putting all my ideas on Facebook and let people run with it crazy.
That's fair.
Because,
That's fair.
like I said, a lot of people just think it's an online persona, and it's just like,
This is me.
If you knew me, like,
Yeah.
it comes off animated, it comes off this. I speak a certain way because growing up, I was super soft-spoken, and I got tired of people telling me, what'd you say?
Word.
Because that's just, my natural thing is just to kind of chill and just kind of quiet, and like, I like to have fun. And
You're a middle child.
No, I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest.
I'm
Word.
the oldest.
Okay.
And so, like, you get to know me, I can be myself,
Yeah.
but it just comes off a certain way just because of how I am, as far as for the masses.
I always think that's an interesting thought, because I found myself before like, okay, how do I, because the way that people were receiving me, I'm like, although I'm being me to the max, the way they're receiving me seems to be a little off-putting, so how can I adjust to make them feel good? And I was like, fuck that. Right?
Yeah.
And this was many moons ago, but I also think to like I guess if I say like the genius complex, I don't know what to call it, but like where so many folks that are geniuses are like maniacal in certain behaviors, in certain ways that they behave, certain ways they navigate the world. And it's like, yo, once you suppress that, the genius disappears.
Yeah.
I think to like how much of a workaholic or an asshole Kobe Bryant was while he was hooping. And then after he was through hooping, everybody seen a different personality of his.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? I think to like musicians that are like, yo, these guys are kind of crazy, but they're geniuses in their space.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And even hearing that from you, I'm like, man, it works.
Because when I
It's worked.
Because when I get in my space, I
Yeah.
am very particular, or I do want the camera here. I don't, you know, I just have to have it that way because I want the best, like for the production, right?
Yeah.
And so I have to give you my feedback at that point. Like, I have to tell you exactly what I'm thinking. Like, nah, don't say that. Let's say this instead. Like, or let's say it in a different tone, or it's just little things like that where it just has to be that way.
Yeah.
But then you get into different spaces outside of the food and the content creation, and then that's where, you just gotta
That's where
be.
it shows up.
You gotta be a little different. You know.
That's
But in
real.
my space where I'm comfortable, like, it has to be that way. We have to be great. We have to do it this way.
Yeah.
100%.
And see, but then this is just me thinking out loud. I think there's so much power when you are able to show up that same way in spaces you're invited to. Like if you call me to be in this space, you're about to get all of me because you asked for me.
Yeah.
It's like,
And Wynn helped me with that.
yeah,
Like you said, like, going back to where, like, you know, I try not to say too, like, that was just in certain situations, but it was like hosting or doing something like that. Wynn was like, man, they're here because you're Jack Stax. So you gotta be you.
facts.
Don't try to be this, or just be you. 'Cause that's why they're here.
That part.
So
That part.
I was like, okay. And it just makes 100% sense.
That's fire. Ooh, that's fire. That's fire, Jack. This I'm telling you, like, this is. I love asking I love the foodie questions and stuff like that, but I really love to swim in like just philosophy and things of that nature, man. Okay, let me ask one of my favorite questions to ask on the show. What would Chris right now tell Chris 10 years ago?
Shit, you going back to hooping days. It's like, hey, you need to go hit the weights. But I would say, man, right now off top is just doing what I'm doing now, the content.
Okay.
Because back to where do you want to be when you grow up? I knew I wanted to work with people.
Okay.
100%. I enjoy being in different people's company. I enjoy being activities. I really loved it. And so I would tell myself, like, find a way to hone it in and put that energy into your craft.
I love that.
So 10 years ago, that's what would have been. It would have been me picking up a camera sooner. Because I was already trying to do the social media and just take pictures.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's crazy. After all that time and gaming, even streaming, like I never thought about being like a content creator or influencer or YouTube. And I was around it as far as my mental the whole time.
Yeah.
Like we could have been like, how streamers are now, where there's just the IRL and just, because just the life we was living and the traveling and the hooping, I was everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not a homebody. I'm out and about, we're doing this, and just, man, imagine capturing that. You know?
Man.
So if I would have tell myself, just tap into who you are and focus it into something.
I love that.
Because I was giving it to everyone.
Ooh.
And I wasn't, and I, like I said, then I started finally actually trying to do something productive.
Yeah.
And that's when the game changed for me.
I love that. I love that. One last question for you, Chris.
Yeah.
As a full-time foodie, event host, dabbling in acting, father, husband, right? How do you keep your cup full?
I mean, I would say what keeps my cup full is just, it ties into a little bit of the appreciation. Like when somebody, like you spend all your time making this work and you edit this video for so long, you come up with this caption, whatever it may be, but then you see that like or somebody comment on the post, like it means a lot. And so that feeling right there is kind of what I capture, and just like, that's why I love showing love.
Word.
Like I'll pop up to different events. I'm liking other people's posts. I'm commenting on other people's posts. I'm just out supporting. That's why people see me a lot of different places, but I'm there because I love to support other people.
Yes.
Like I don't even like going out late nights anymore, but I'm there to support wins sometimes. I'm like, well, shit, I'm editing anyway, so I can pop up for a minute.
Yeah.
Or just different things, or somebody's got an event that they're doing, or they're excited about. Like, you know what? I'm gonna try to put that on my calendar and see if I can make it. Just because I love to support other people, so it just keeps my cup full, knowing that people are striving to be great, and I just love being there to support them every step of the way, or at least support them how I can.
For sure.
In the ways that I can. So I'd like I said, there's not a lot of that ties into me. It's just my kids smiling, make sure they're happy and enjoying their sports and having a blast. Make sure my wife is good. The fam is good. Like I was big on throwing barbecues just because I like people coming over, enjoying their time, having some good food, watching the game, whatever the case may be. But that just that's what makes me happy. It ties back into like my grandfather. So that was kind of my father, my hero.
Okay.
Growing up, he passed when I was in 7th grade. But I always remember what he did for the fam, the camping trips. He was a big barbecue. I mean, he's the one that got the whole family to barbecue. He used to do barbecue competitions and things like that. But he was big on getting the fam together. He was big on doing things that brought us together. And just those moments were great moments. Yeah. Camping out in El Dorado, waking up to barbecue. Church, I think he pretty much helped start a church.
Fire.
Shout out to New Day.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the police force, but I just remember him always getting the fam together, having those serious conversations where it need to be had, hearing him lecture my uncles and my cousins, and and just talking about some real stuff. By the same token, with love. Yeah. You felt the love.
100%.
100%. So it's like, man, I just love showing love.
Ooh, and it costs nothing.
And it costs nothing.
It's free. A candle loses nothing when it lights another candle.
Man, you just posted that,
Like,
and it's 100% facts.
It's such a real thing.
It's
man.
real.
It's such a real thing. Oh,
It's
man,
real.
shout out to Grandpa. All right, Chris, before we part, is there anything that you want to get off your chest, your heart, or any words you want to put out there before we dip out?
How can I say this? I just want y'all to know I am who I am. I do it with love. There's no ulterior motives behind it. I'm not doing this for no other reason besides I love what I do. I love, as far as I love making content. I love the whole editing process. And it's just it's almost like I'm artsy. And I love the just putting this, and this together to make it this.
Yeah.
So I just love what I do. Like there's no, I'm not in it for just fame. I'm not in it for just money. I'm not crawling over people to get where I'm going. It's all with love, and I love putting on for places. And that's it. Just know that I do it for the city before I do it for myself.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. Hey, man, let's dig in. Nah, listen, Chris, again, I appreciate you, brother.
Man.
All right, and I'm hopeful, confident, and I'm prayerful that everything that's yours, you continue to go get. It continues to meet you halfway. You continue to elevate the culture, elevate community. Man, and
appreciate that, man.
For
Same
sure,
to
for
you.
sure. I received that. I received that. I'm hopeful this interview gets the sizzle bizzle.
Oh, 100%. Dope conversation.
I love it.
Dope
I
conversation.
love
I love these conversations. So
it. For sure.
yeah,
Say less, sir.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Oh, this the first 10 out of 10?
First 10 out of 10.
Let's go. And with that, we out, baby. This has been Thinking Out Loud with Samuel David, with my special guest, Jack Stax Eats, Chris Jackson. The biggest love. Holla. Love you, bro.
Man, I love you too.
Look both ways when you cross that street. Dot your I's and cross your T's. Measure twice, but cut once. Love life, live it up, bruh. Dream is good, do the work too. There ain't nothing you can't work through. And there ain't nothing I can't handle. There ain't nothing I can't handle. I look to the sky. And I thank God that I'm alive. I look to my wife. And I thank God she by my side. I've been through a lot, but I survived. It weighs on my heart from time to time. But there ain't nothing I can't handle.